iOS 7 was the start of a new era, and today we're going to be taking a look at it. As you can see here, I have an iPhone 4 running iOS 7 on the left and an iPhone 4 running iOS 4 on the right, and man, iOS 7 was an absolute complete redesign, from the lock screen being different to the home screen being different to every single icon, every single image, every single logo in iOS was completely changed. Probably one of the coolest new features in iOS 7 that was never in iOS 6 or any of the previous versions was the control center, just the ability to control so many aspects like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, screen brightness, and even shortcuts to your camera and timer applications directly from the control center that had never been done before, and this was probably one of the most game-changing updates to iOS 7. Another huge change to iOS 7 was the app switcher, the ability to quickly and easily swap between apps and then close them. And also, if an app got frozen up per se, you could just close the app directly from the app switcher, the app that you were in. Back in iOS 6 and before, you had to exit out of the app using the home button, and then you could go into the app switcher and close the app, but you couldn't directly close the app from the app switcher. And this was only really a problem when apps would freeze up, but it did happen from time to time. One big change to iOS 7 was the lock screen. As you can see, it still kept the slide to unlock, but everything else about it is completely different, including the font on the clock. There's not that little background that you see, the shade on iOS 6. Everything about the status bar is different, the date, everything is just completely different, and you even have access to your control center from the lock screen. The notification center on iOS 7 is also completely redesigned, totally different from iOS 6. Another brand new feature in iOS 7 was Airdrop. So, as you can see here, we can go to Photos and Share, and there is an Airdrop option here. Okay, so now that we have seen most of the new features in iOS 7, I'm just going to quickly run through the different apps, and we can see the differences between iOS 4 on the right and iOS 7 on the left. Now keep in mind, between iOS 7 and iOS 6, if I were to have an iOS 6 iPhone, would be slightly different, but especially like the iPod or the music app is very neat on iOS 4 to iOS 6. I actually prefer it over the iOS 7. But anyways, let's just go ahead and jump into it and quickly run through the different apps. Alright, so first up we have the music app. Sadly, I don't actually have any music. If I did, I would love to show off the old iOS 4 and iOS 6 look of the music app. It was just very unique. As you can see, we have Safari here. It doesn't actually load the website, sadly, just because it's so old, but it's still neat to see it. And we have the Mail app, the Phone app. I tried to load into the App Store here, but sadly it won't actually show anything just because neither of them can connect to the App Store. The iTunes Store, same case as with the App Store. Then we have the Settings app, which as you can see is a very different design on iOS 7 as compared to iOS 6. It's much brighter, as is really the whole rest of iOS 7. Then we have Game Center. Then we have the Clock app. Next up we have Notes, something I use most every day. The Weather app. The Maps app, which is entirely different, but sadly was not loading on iOS 7. The Stocks application. I've never really used the Stocks app much, but just like the rest of iOS, completely redesigned. The camera app, now this was probably my favorite redesign, honestly, in all of iOS, just because of the complete change in the camera app. But I love the little switch between the picture mode and video mode. But of course now we have way more modes on the camera app. Then we have the Photos app, added albums, the calendar application, and iMessages. We have contacts there. This is what the Compass app looks like, quite a bit different. Of course, it's not calibrated on the left. And this last one brings back a lot of great memories, the Voice Memos app. So that is basically it. That is all of the major changes in iOS 7. Now obviously there were some smaller features that were not covered in this video, but for the sake of time, I did not go into those features. Anyway, if you enjoyed it, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe to my channel. Also make sure to hit that bell icon so you're notified as soon as any future videos come out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comments below and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. Also, if you want to know how to iCloud bypass your iPhone 4 running iOS 7, I will have a video linked here or in the description. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.